Mykelti has started watching the series Big Love after fielding numerous suggestions from her Patreon subscribers. She is a couple episodes into season 1, and she is already drawing several comparisons to her own family, either knowingly or unknowingly. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've seen Big Love, but I remember that show being a dramatic, wild ride. And I remember when Sister Wives first started airing that there were a lot of similarities between the fictional Henriksen family and the Browns, who started appearing on Sister Wives while Big Love was still on the air.
I have 3 beautiful wives, 7 perfect children, and I'm about to add a 3rd store to this family.
I don't think it's always easy for anyone.
I do not want to have to ask your permission for everything!
You slept with Bill in my bed.
It just happened.
We're going after Roman. I'm gonna take it to him.
You're the quintessential embodiment of the American dream.
Polygamist, right on our street. Isn't that terrible?
Do you think I should have more than one wife?
It's not for every man.
Big Love ran on HBO from 2006 to 2011, and I just have to say, rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Gone way too soon. Twister is one of my all-time favorite movies. Big Love follows the life of the fictional family, the Henriksens, which consists of Patriarch Bill, a hardware store owner juggling life with his 3 wives and 7 kids. Chaos and drama ensues. Coincidentally, Sister Wives premiered on TLC in 2010. Public interest in polygamy was high at that time, particularly in what looked like normal polygamy, for lack of a better word. In 2008, Warren Jeffs was arrested and the compound that he had started was raided. And what we saw in the news was women and children in prairie dresses with long braided hair. It certainly wasn't what Kody Brown looked like when he came on the scene to tell us, hey, I'm just a guy who falls in love a lot. Kody Brown specifically cited his motivation to do this show as being to differentiate his family and his brand of polygamy from what that criminal Warren Jeffs was doing. Big Love was a big success for HBO, and I remember watching it in college. And when Sister Wives premiered, I was like, oh wow, the real life Henriksens. Their stories aren't exactly the same, but there are eerie similarities. It was almost like the creators of Big Love sourced their material from the same advocacy group that Puddle Monkey producers plucked Christine Brown out of for Sister Wives. Fans of Sister Wives have been talking about this for years, pointing out the similarities between the fictional characters and the actual real-life Browns. Well, we aren't the only ones that noticed. Mykelti and Tony talked about the show over on their Patreon, and while Mykelti was describing what she watched to Tony, I was like, girl, you are describing your family. We have Nikki, who is Bill's second wife, and she is the perfect combination of Christine and Robin. She's the daughter of the prophet. Christine's grandfather was the prophet of the AUB, and Nikki has this out-of-control spending problem, kind of like Kody's true love, Robin. Mykelti did this 4-minute reaction video before she and Tony did their watch-along. And in that video, she said there were a couple things she liked that the Henriksens did differently than her family. She said that she liked that the wives sat down and they dictated where Bill was going to be spending his nights. They were in charge of his schedule. Personally, I think this would have been immensely helpful in the Brown family. Let Mary, Janella, Christine, and Robin work out where Kody is going to be, and that would have solved the issue of leaving things up to Kody to divide his time equally. Additionally, Mykelti goes on to say that she liked that the wives were free to be physically affectionate with Bill in front of the other wives. Mykelti says that she thinks that this is a strong characteristic of a lasting polygamous family. Very, very interesting takeaways that Mykelti had here. So then during their watch along, she is describing the show to Tony. And one of the first things she calls out is how overtly sexual the first couple episodes are. There is a big focus on sex and Bill's shortcomings in being able to satisfy the needs of 3 women all the time. So much so that he has to resort to a little help from Viagra. If only Kody cared as much about satisfying the needs of his wives. I guess this is where fact and fiction diverge a little bit. Mykelti tells Tony about one of Bill's early obstacles, and that is his hardware store is going bankrupt. So he demands his wives give them their money from their jobs so that he can put it into the family account. But one of the wives, Nikki, is stealing family funds, and she buys a ton of stuff that she doesn't need. Tony goes, sounds like what happens in polygamy. I'll go one step further and say, sounds like what happens in your family. This plot line could have been ripped straight out of the Brown family playbook. It will be interesting to see if Mykelti continues to watch Big Love, if she will notice the same similarities we all have. I have long said that the Vegas cul-de-sac setup was the best setup for the Browns. The older kids have said their best memories were in Lehigh because they were all in one house, but I thought Vegas was a good compromise. The moms got their own houses and their own domains, and the kids were right next door to each other, and they could just pop over from house to house anytime they wanted. It made no sense to move to Flagstaff. Aspen, Gabe, and Gwen all commented in season 13 how this move was bonkers. But here's the thing. Kody made a big mistake in Las Vegas. He let each of his wives have a major asset in her name that was relatively unattached to the other wives. Her own house. A house is a huge financial asset for these women should they ever try to leave polygamy. Kody and Robin must have seen the writing on the wall because the move to Flagstaff ensured that all of the wives sacrificed their individual assets into this one property that is never going to be built on, by this family at least. All of the Vegas homes sold at different times, but the big picture was to sell the homes, put the proceeds in a family fund, buy and build on Coyote Pass. The wives would obviously need places to live in the meantime, so the goal was to rent for a couple years. Christine was so smart for insisting on buying her home. Such a smart move. Some family funds go to put a down payment on her home, but then here comes Robin, who has such astronomical requirements in a home, the only real option is to buy. So family funds go to putting a down payment on her home. Mary and Janelle are asked out of their assets. Meanwhile, during all these years that Robin is a member of the family, Robin does not financially contribute to the family fund above and beyond showing up to film the TV show that all the other adults show up to film as well. Robin requires a nanny. She has a house full of crystals and figurines and paintings, and she flashes her hideous yet expensive taste in jewelry constantly. This woman loves to spend. Christine, Janelle, and Mary have all admitted to putting at least a portion of the money they've generated independently into the family fund. Tony saying that what Mykelti is describing from Big Love as sounding like what happens in polygamy cannot be more on brand for Mykelti's actual family. I really hope Mykelti continues to watch the show because I am especially interested to see her react to the drama that goes down between Nikki's family and Bill. Nikki, being the daughter of the prophet, is so similar to Mykelti's mother, Christine. It'll be really interesting to get her take. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and X at realiteasquad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.